Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome to Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. We've got another fantastic show lined up for you today. In fact, we'll bring some Southern cooking to your home in a snap when we visit with the chef and president of Soul Food Starters. Stick around, learn more how you can get your hands on some delicious starter packets. We'll find out why it's a starter packet, too, because you're going to want more after that, probably. And then we'll check in with a woman who has provided over 50 years of service to our community. She joins us to shed some light on her latest work in the faith-based community and so much more. So please check in with one of our BronxNet's creatives. She's here to highlight the work that she's doing with immersive art and technology. We'll find out all about that. And we'll talk to a public servant leader and former council member who will speak about the work that she is doing and has done in education and shine some light on how she's been recognized by her community. So sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. Here we go. We're open. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from WBLS, and you're going to be watching Open, and we've got it going on for you for the next hour or so. It's the only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set, so stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, joining us from all the way from South Kakalaki. He's the president and co-founder of Booker's Soul Food Starters. He'll speak to us about how the experience he has had has helped him develop all this food and all this good tasting stuff. Now, I'm working the thing, or you're working it. So let's bring him to the dinner table. Here he is. Booker, how are you? How you feeling?
I'm doing great, Dr. Lee.
The chef is in the house.
Yes, sir.
How are you? What you cooking?
Oh, man, I'm cooking a little bit of soul food, and I'm doing well.
That's good. Now, what part of South Carolina?
Now, I grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina, but I live in the great state of Ohio, in the city with those Cleveland Browns.
And of course, you're a Cleveland Brown fan, right? So tell us about these.
I'm a Cowboy fan.
You're a Cowboy fan.
The Giant fans, don't beat me up.
That's all right. Hey, mix it up. I have, teams from all over the place. My voice is kind of cracking because I did a parade, so I guess I got to explain that too. And, when you're out there, you're doing it for hours and you're yelling and carrying on and just bringing all these people through. But listen, how did you get started in the business of cooking, and how did you become a chef?
Well, growing up in South Carolina, we had farms and I grew up just raising product with my grandmother and my grandfather and my father, and he would have let me stand on the footstool, watch him cook, and I fell in love with cooking. When
you said you had all the products, you had the chickens and hogs and all that stuff in the
man,
food.
we raised it all. I mean, we went to the grocery store for a few things like sliced bread. But if we didn't grow it, we didn't eat it.
I know that's right. Because you know what your animals are eating. You know what's in the product.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we grew up real rural. We went hunting and fishing. When it was time for chickens, Grandma would say, "Hey, Pokey, run out there, run me down a chicken," and I'd run down a chicken.
And I'm not going to explain. I've seen it happen. I was playing with a chicken, and I was down south, and they prepared it for dinner. I couldn't eat it because it was a pet for me at first.
Understood.
So what happened next? Did you go to school for it, or just learned everything right there?
Yeah, it was interesting because before, there was the Food Network and Celebrity Chefs. I decided that I wanted to go to culinary school, and in 1986, that was akin to basket weaving. You didn't do that, and I turned down football scholarships, Dr. Lee, and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to go and play college ball. the community, the state of South Carolina was shocked. And I went to Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island, and have a blessed culinary career.
And you've been cooking ever since.
Ever since.
Now, some people, they call a person a cook or chef. You, of course, you're both.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a culinary degree, but the reason I say I'm a cook because some of the best cooks are our grandmothers and our aunts and moms, and they don't have a culinary degree. You know, Black folk, we've always passed down culinary love orally, and so those are some of the best chefs out there, even without the degrees.
Hey, did you acquire some of your folks' recipes and stuff? Those hidden secrets?
I did.
You did?
That was the inspiration for Soul Food Starters. And not only my family, Dr. Bob, your family, because think about it. A lot of folks don't really understand how to do the stuff formally because they mama say, baby, I don't know the recipe. Put a little bit of this, a little bit of that in it. Well, I demystified that with Soul Food Starters.
Yeah. Well, what are everybody goes through challenges. What are some of the challenges that you had to encounter in starting your business and getting it all together?
The biggest challenge was trying to get a lot of these retailers and buyers to understand that a Black brand can really resonate, in this country. Because Black folk, we over-index in everything. And so, I had to convince them that soul food was relevant. And we've been blessed. We're in over 3,000 retail doors. We're a little older than 2 years, which is amazing, to have that type of success.
Absolutely.
And my core audience has always been Black women, and they have powered my brand.
Yeah. So wait a minute. We just showed some things while you were talking, and those are the starter packets, right?
That's right. That's right.
Are they microwavable, or you just take them and put them in some boiling water?
No. So here's the thing. So like that macaroni and cheese, those packets, what we've done is, because you can't fake soul food, right? You got to prepare it from scratch. So with our macaroni and cheese seasoning mix, we put in the milk, eggs, all of the love, and all you do is add water and you created the custard.
Oh.
And what a lot of folk don't realize is you live and die by the custard when you making soul food mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing with the collard greens. So they're pantry ready items, and you just add a few produce items and follow my instructions. Now you gotta follow those instructions.
It could be a disaster if you don't follow your instructions, huh?
Well, because we are so used as a community of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I've removed that. I made it where I don't care if you're the most savvy chef, cook, or the most novice. If you follow my instructions, it's gonna be a home run.
They're gonna add a little something to it.
well, we want you to do that. So if you want cheddar, I grew up in the country with that government cheese. So I love sharp cheddar.
There you go.
If you want, faux cheese, you can do that. We just give you the blueprint where you can't mess it up.
I get it. Anything new coming up? You showed those packets right there. Anything new that you're adding to the menu?
Yeah, we've got 3 vegan items that we're getting ready to launch. Now, we didn't want to launch them right away because you don't play with soul food.
That's right.
So I didn't want somebody accidentally buying the vegan and say, hey, that ain't right. So we've got that coming. And then we created a green bean seasoning, a banana pudding seasoning, fried apples, and we've got an incredible sweet potato pie.
You're making me hungry as heck in here.
Look,
you're going to have to come out from Ohio or South Carolina and bring some of that food. We'll set up a stand. You can cook it all up right here.
I love to do it. Listen, New York is one of my biggest supporters. I mean, it is amazing when I look at what the volume we do just in the folks from New York City, I love it.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Best is here, and she deals with a lot of the churches. You got a lot of church folk buying your food?
You know, we probably ship a minimum of 80 to 90 households a day.
Wow.
And they're all over the country.
Wow.
And that's the beautiful thing about soul food. It resonates with our community. And that's why, you know, through God's favor, we're in over 3,000 stores because soul food, Black folk make me national.
Oh, wait, Chef Booker, this is manufactured now, right? Because it's hard to do all this yourself and put all this stuff together.
You can't.
You started out like that, though.
Well, I did. Well, the thing about soul food, I said, I need to commercialize this.
Yeah.
Now, I was blessed before COVID hit to have an incredible business. And COVID decimated that business. I did buffets, casinos, military bases, but it was on a steam table, right? And COVID scared America away from eating at buffets.
Yeah.
And I was out of business. And post George Floyd, and all these retailers started saying, we want Black founders brands. And so COVID enabled me to launch this, and I had to find a manufacturing company that would believe in me. And I found one. Not only did I find one, I found one of the largest Black-owned companies that makes products for McDonald's, Kellogg's, and they're just blown away with our success.
That's good. You ever think about taking it to the TV show and try to get that deal? What's the name of that show that people go to?
Shark Tank.
Yeah. We're able to say Shark Tank, of course.
Yeah. I thought about it, and in fact, they reached out to me personally.
Oh, they reached out to you. Wow. Usually people try to get on there, but they reached out to you.
Yeah, it was a blessing. And when I saw the paperwork with like 100 and some pages, I've said I'm too country, but anything that it takes 100 pages can't be right for me. Yeah.
Well, maybe
if you can't tell it to me in 2 pages, I got to be careful.
I get it. I get it. So what's next for you?
You know, next for me is to elevate this brand and also continue to support Black education the way we do. I love that.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, every time someone buys our product, you know, we support Black education in America. And then I want to be the roadmap for other Black makers to say, if this country boy can do it, man, I got a recipe that's so bad that my family got, I want Booker to help me launch it. That's going to be my vision. That's going to be my next step. Beautiful,
beautiful. Social media, website, give it to us.
Yeah, now I'm old country boy, and I ain't on social media a lot. But if you go to www.soulfoodstarters, I got bright young folk behind me that we got all their Instagram, Facebook stuff. But this country boy can't feel. I don't know how to do that though.
The original social media, up front and personal, shaking somebody's hand, looking them in the eyes. I get it.
Man, you got it. You got it. That's what I said. You might be a New Yorker, but you got that Southern swag.
I got the Southern thing. All the way from South Kakalaki.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us, and come back again. And next time, come on down or come on up. Yeah, come on up to New York.
Listen, I love New York. I'm always in New York. And next time I'm there, I'm going to take you up on your offer.
Yeah, you got to come into the studio and set up something where you can feed everybody in the studio. We'll invite the neighborhood.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it.
All right. Give him a big hand, everybody. Chef Claude, say it again.
I said, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. And we'll see you soon.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Chef Claude Booker, President, Booker's Soul Food. All right. We'll take a break. I've got more coming up next. We'll eat some more next on Open.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Poor Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug. You know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for ya. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
And welcome back. I'm the Doc Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLSA. Our next guest is the CEO and founder of Healing Hearts Chaplaincy. She carries over 50 years of service to humanity. She joins us to speak about the work that she is doing in and outside of the faith-based community. So, and she's also here to highlight how she's helping others become the best version of themselves. So please put your hands together, everybody in the audience, everybody at home, for the phenomenal Dr. Best, Dr. Kim Best.
Yes.
And everybody knows what contributes to your phenomenality.
Yes.
You're out there. I'm out there, and you're out there with your sleeves rolled up, and you're helping others get what they need out of life. Explain how you got started in this love for our community.
Well, you know, in life, I had a special calling on my life.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until I start going up in elevation. But I actually started out as a missionary. And they had really wanted me to be a Catholic nun. But God had another plan for me. And as a humanitarian and a community-based person, I know my mission was to help people.
Yeah.
He actually ordered my steps. And this is what I love. This is what I do. And as the CEO of the Healing Hearts Chaplaincy, our focus is to provide and service the community. We go into the prisons, we go into the hospitals, we go into hospice, and we just deal with the community at large. So in any situation, we want to be ready to assist those people. You know, especially after the pandemic hit, we as chaplains was right there. We was on the grounds. So many people died. So many people was in the funeral parlors was filled. But yet, God gave us the strength to assist those people. And even now today, right now, this chaplaincy has over 400 chaplains. And we're all around, just about all around the world. Mm-hmm. We started with a very small, yes, Bob, you are one of them.
Yes. Thank you so much for bringing me into it.
Yes. And we are now going into international waters, whereas we're doing a lot of stuff with the African countries, Haiti, and especially with a lot of the Spanish countries. So we send barrels of food and books and so forth. So we want to make sure that not only that we're addressing the needs here in the USA, but also address the needs in the different countries.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, the need.
Yeah, it's out there, you know.
It really is.
These days, you know, things are happening all over the world. We see it. I mean, sometimes it's not only happening on TV, but it's happening behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Things that we can't see.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the deep thing, the spiritual.
Yeah, the spiritual thing. Yes. Oh, yes, you know.
Who was the one person that helped mold and shape the person that you are today? Of course, you had the calling from the God.
Yes, well, I had the calling from the Lord, but actually my parents. My parents were very, very community orientated, and they grounded us. They sent us to the best of schools. Yeah. When I say us, my siblings sent us to the best of schools, And they taught us what it was to grow up poor and to appreciate
Yeah.
what you have today.
How do you find time to do everything? Because
It's a lot.
National Night Out, the Restoration Plaza, all
Yes.
these wonderful things. Every time I saw you at Lenny Green's affair.
That's right.
I mean, you're there.
I did. Well, you know what? We have to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
People always say, you see us all over the place, but someone has to do the job. Someone has to do the job. And my commitment and my assignment to the Lord is to get out and meet the people, to build the kingdom, bring the souls.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be surprised. A lot of people do not have churches and houses of worship. They don't have church homes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of the people that's in the ministerial, the churches are starting to get small. They're starting to close. And you say, why? Because now in the ministry, you have to hit the streets. You have to go
Jesus
out.
hit the streets.
You have to hit the streets. You have to educate them. You have to teach them what spiritual ministry is. And there's a lot of guidance that's really needed. You really don't know what's going on until you really.
Yeah. There's a lot of community building involved in what you do.
It is. There's a lot of community building involved because, as you know, our communities are changing. Okay, the resources are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, once upon a time, we can go here and there and get resources. We see it when we get ready to do these big events. We see it when people come and that's homeless, people come that's hungry, and it's not even an age bracket anymore. I mean, we have seniors that need food.
Yeah.
Babies that need food. How do we, I mean, it's amazing how life is, really.
Yeah. And then now we have a lot of migrants complaining about too many being here, but they have to be taken care of too.
Exactly. See, so what I always say is that we don't need to put a fixation on any ethnic group.
Yeah.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, we're all people.
We're all people.
We all have our needs. And when these people come from different countries and so forth, they need help. Yeah. Yes, New York City is overpopulated right now. But we're hoping and praying that our mayor gets the additional help and the resources that he needs.
From the federal government.
From the federal government, So it's a little difficulty. And then there's different ways that people are trying to assist, like opening up their homes. I know that there's quite a bit of the big churches that have set up beds and showers and so forth to accommodate the people. And we're trying to build as many houses as we can, but when we're overpopulated, there's nothing that we really can do but to find other solutions.
Yeah. You're a major conduit for the Lord, and you have your hands in everything. All the municipalities. You're working with the police department. How many other organizations are you working with?
Well, yeah, I've been with the police department as a precinct council president for 35 years. I am also chairman for Brooklyn Hospital for the advisory board, making sure the quality of care when the patients come in.
Yes.
I'm also Community Board 3. I chair their senior committee. And then I also have Powell Women in Community Building, which helps to build communities. Yeah. And that's just to name a few. Lions International. I also belong to Business and Professional Women. I'm actually their international governor. So that just tells just a few of the things that I do. Yeah. But I'm engaged, I'm involved. And most important thing, I love what I do and I love people.
And they're going to award you for it. You received well over 600 awards.
Yes, over 600 awards. I think Washington is going to grant me another award, international award in November. I look forward to seeing that. But despite even all the awards, it's about doing the work.
Yes.
It's about the commitment.
And you do the work, too.
And I do the work.
We see you.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people see me. Yeah.
That's good. You're gonna have to build a bigger house to hang up those awards.
Well, let me just say this here to you. One of my goals, and is to get a humanitarian center. Not so much a church, but a humanitarian center that will be able to provide the resources to people. So in the humanitarian center, we look for jobs, we look for training, we look Bible base.
I can see that.
Yeah, and that's what
building
it is.
that will house a few people too.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. What has been the most rewarding part of the work that you do? I mean, a lot of it. This is what you love, so it's not even work.
This is what I love. Well, it's like, I'm gonna just use this phrase, like a junkie. I get my gratitude just knowing that I was able to send that young man to college on scholarships. And now he has graduated with his JD. And he comes back to me years later to say thank you. And he says to me, you know what? If it had not been for you giving me the opportunity to go to college and then go to law school, he says, you know what? I would never, and this is just only one of many, I would never forget you. And anytime that you need me, this young man said to me, I'm here for you.
Wow.
So that's the gratification that I get. I don't be looking for any money, any hands out.
That's the pay.
And
that's
any,
paid.
No accolades. My accolades come from knowing that I'm able to help people to achieve their goals. I'm able to help put people into different places. Because you know what? We never know where our blessings may be. And these same people that we meet going up that ladder may be the same people that we may have to need to help us.
Yeah, exactly. I see it. I see it. I'm out in the community. I see it. What's one piece of advice that you can share with others interested in getting involved in community work or chaplaincy?
Okay, so one of the things that really, we know we can't save the world. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. We know we can't save the world. But when we, as a community, and we consider ourselves the village, is going into the village and pulling that young person that you see off the streets. I've done it many, many, many times. Yeah. I had a gangbanger living with me at one point. And I got to understand what that world was to be a gangbanger. Yeah. Oh, yes, it was very interesting. But I connected and bonded. So my suggestion to people is that try to bond with someone, some individual. You can't save them all, but if you save one, that means a whole lot.
Yeah. And it could be like a chain reaction.
It does. It is a chain reaction.
You saved that person went on to save somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I deal with a lot of people that come out of the prisons. I've been able to get them jobs. They've been able to get on their feet and been offered like a second chance in life. So that's good. So when we see these people, they're doing well now.
And now the Healing Hearts Chaplaincy, what can you tell us about that?
The Healing Hearts Chaplaincy was a vision that was actually, the name was given to me from my professor. Prior to me developing the Healing Hearts Chaplaincy, I did chaplaincy work already for another organization for about 13 years, and I was also the CEO of the seminary. So the Lord spoke to me and says, you know, you need to open up your own Healing Hearts Chaplaincy. Your assignment is to help hundreds of people. Now, it was prophesied to me about 22 years ago that I would be in a position to help many. I didn't know what it was, but I know today.
Here it is.
Here it is.
You're doing it.
And all of the chaplains are from different nationalities. I have Jewish chaplains, have chaplain Muslims. I even have Asian chaplains. And each one of them are working towards building the kingdom and helping people.
Yes.
So I'm just so happy with the chaplaincies, and we are non-denominational, which is good. You see, we don't get caught up into, oh, you have to be Baptist, you have to be Methodist. We're non-denominational.
Because when you're dealing with the community, you're able to deal with everybody out there, no matter who they are.
Exactly.
No matter, what tradition that they're involved in.
Case
you
in
can
point.
walk into anybody's
Case
church.
in point. Somebody gets shot. They happen to be an Asian person.
Yeah.
You happen to be there on the scene. They may call you, or you may have to give them their last rites. Are we here to say just because they're Asian that they don't need prayer? Think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? What's
Well,
next for us?
Well, where are we going? Go from here. We're going to continue to build the chaplaincy. We will continue to build the international waters. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be crown queen of Calabar, Nigeria, with the AFI Foundation on October 7th. And next year, I'm scheduled to go to Ghana to be crowned Queen Mother. All right. So those are two good things that's happening. And then what we have been continued to do is to meet with the consulate of various countries. We are set to meet with the country of Jamaica to see some of the needs and the assessments there. We have met with several countries such as Belize, Ghana, Nigeria, St. Vincent, just to name a few. So our mission is to meet with as many countries to address the needs. And we're asking people that want to come with us on these international tours and trips. You're more than welcome.
I'm going to tie up my sneakers and tie up my laces and get ready to go.
That's right.
Who's here with you today?
Well, I have Barbara Biggs Glover. She's associated with me with several different. Actually, she's the first vice president for the National Association of Business and Professional Women. And then I have a Miss Essence here, who has also been very experienced, has an expertise in marketing and also branding. And she happens to be my manager. And I wanted them to come here to support me and to support you and the BronxNet as well.
Thank you guys for all you do. Social media, website?
Yes, we do have a social media. They are doing a lot of updating with the social media. So because we do so much that we have to constantly update it. So we do have a website. We do have a WhatsApp for the international piece, and that's ongoing. And we also have a WhatsApp for the Healing Hearts chaplains to let us know what updates that's going on. If there's any tragedies, anything that we need to address. The churches, we go in there, we teach with the churches and the pastors. We're actually doing the classes for the chaplaincies. We give you your credentials and so forth. So it's a good shape, and it's a good look.
Dr. Best, thank you for all the work that you do in the community. We love you.
Yes.
And you have our support 100%. We're one big family, moving together in the same direction for a common cause.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give her a big hand, everybody. Dr. Best, PhD, CEO, and founder, Healing Hearts Chaplaincy. We'll take a break. I've got more coming your way next on Open.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Oh, welcome back. Here we go again. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from WBLS, and you're watching Open. Our next guest is an award-winning artist, professor, and artist in residency at BronxNet TV to help creatives rebuild New York. That's for a 2-year art residence. And she's also teaching at St. Peter's University. All right. Now, you were here before. You didn't tell me that. I just started. And her passion is art and doing traditional raku, as she combines her physical art with digital art turning their works into NFTs. So please welcome to the show, Trish Gianakis. Welcome.
Thank you
How
for
are
having
you?
me. I'm
Yes,
good. How
nice
are
to
you,
see
Dr.
you
Love?
again. You always come up with something spectacular and something different and amazing and some surprises too. So I see a
Thank you.
bag on the table, but before we get into what's on the, oh, you got the screen running? I don't know if
Yep.
it shows.
My
Look at that.
artwork. I
Yeah.
have my NFTs on my bag.
Yeah, we were worrying to see if that would come through on TV. Yes,
Yeah,
we can see
it
it.
looks good.
Beautiful. So give us a little background. Start by sharing with what initially drew you to the world of NFTs and immersive technology and how it has evolved since you first began exploring and since you first came here.
Yeah. Well, back in 2019, Dexter Wimberly brought me to Art World Conference as one of his speakers, and I got to sit in on other sessions, and I learned about crypto art, and that was before they were calling it NFTs.
Yeah.
And the woman speaking talked about how you could buy part of a Picasso.
Yeah.
And I was really intrigued by that.
Yeah, I was scratching my head when I first heard about it too. I was like, hey.
Yeah, it wasn't
going on
even
here?
NFTs then. So
Yeah.
so that's where I got my feet wet, and then I
Uh-huh.
started teaching about it. And during COVID, that really changed things, and that's when NFTs became popular.
Mm. But how did it change? What did the change came to because more people were sitting back?
I think
Doing
Beeble,
research?
the artist Beeble, who sold that NFT for $69 million, was the game changer.
Oh.
It was auctioned at Christie's. Was it Christie's or Sotheby's?
Yeah,
One of the
yeah.
big art auctions.
Yeah.
And that's what changed it. And it became a huge
Yeah.
rush and change for artists to be able to sell their art
Yeah.
digitally.
There was a recording artist that he wanted, I got to get you an NFT. And I was like, well, what the heck is an NFT?
Right?
And they started, I'll send you something and you take a look at it. It was just a big mystery to me in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, how did it evolve? How did it evolve from there?
Well, from there, I was able to display my artwork digitally and people could understand it a little bit better.
Yes.
So it wasn't so much of a mystery. And when I show my physical art, I mint my physical art on the Fine Arts Ledger, and they mint it on the blockchain Polygon. And I found that that's the easiest pathway for artists to mint their NFT artwork.
That's in the dictionary now, blockchain Polygon.
Right? Exactly. There's also OpenSea and Rarible for other platforms. But
Yeah.
I find that for artists getting started with NFTs, the Fine Arts Ledger is the easiest starting point.
Now, you're a pioneer in conversion, the conversion of physical art into NFTs.
Correct. So that's what I do with the Fine Arts Ledger. And we actually put a physical chip, an NFC chip on the artwork, and you can tap it. And then it brings up all the authenticity, the records, certificates, everything you want to put with the art. And that's where I can also combine the augmented reality.
Ah, and there's another one right there. Augmented reality.
Exactly.
Explain that.
That's where you can take a digital 3D animation or object and put it in the real world. And you could, sometimes I'll have dancing unicorns or animation videos. This is my alter ego movie video that I created that goes with one of my physical art NFTs. So this is the artwork that you see when you're playing it over the physical piece.
Yeah, yeah. The last time you were here, we had a headset and we put that on. I was like, wow, it's a whole nother world here.
That was my MetaQuest Pro headset. We went into VR.
You have the names. We're going to have to take a class and write all these names down.
Definitely.
MetaQuest Pro?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good.
And people still use that for what?
That's for virtual reality. That does has pass through where I could see. Remember when you were able to see your space, but then you walked into that border.
I wanted to walk past this.
Yeah, right.
I
had to guide you.
Yeah. That was good. So you're giving classes. You're teaching in two different areas, two different institutions. One here at Lehman and.
I am teaching an 3D animation course in January for BronxNet. I'm currently teaching user experience design at St. Peter's University.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. They're going to be calling you. They're going to be calling you all over. How can you handle it? They're going to say, hey,
I know it's a
we
lot.
want you over here. No, we want you over here. So what's next for you? What's this is going to continue to evolve?
Well, we are. I made 3 NFTs for 50th year of hip hop.
Yes.
And so the first NFT is the forefathers of hip hop, and that's
There it is, right
they
there.
are right there.
Bring that back to the
Africa
top.
Bambaataa,
Let's take a look at that.
Cool,
Wow.
DJ Curl Irk, Grandmaster Flash, Grand Wizard Theodore.
Cool Herc is going to love this.
Yeah, and then this is the 3 elements, and then Cardi B as well. And there you can see that's a 3D
Look at that.
object that you can rotate
love it.
as well. So you can
Yeah.
have it in your digital wallet, or you could put it on one of these bags.
Now, this is something new.
Yeah.
Did you put this together also?
This is a
Somebody
kit that I bought. It's with a Raspberry Pi motherboard that's in the bag.
A Raspberry Pi
Raspberry
motherboard.
Pi.
Is it edible?
No.
No.
And then you hook it up to like a little power source. And this I'm just using for the power source. And then I program it on my phone, so it's Bluetooth.
Wow.
So I can,
So
I can
just-
program
it just
as many
keep-
as I want.
This will just keep showing whatever you.
Yeah,
what
this
it?
is a portrait a friend of mine made for me. And then I have my other artworks rolling up. This is one of my first NFTs that I did back in the day. 3 years now. Wow. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, one day we're going to be celebrating 50 years of this.
Exactly. Right.
It'll be another milestone.
Exactly.
Oh, you got to hit the 10 and 25. But so what can people use this for?
It's just mainly for displaying NFTs, your artwork. You could have other people's artwork featured on it as well. And I like using it when I'm at concerts or going out to clubs and things like that, because it's kind of like I get some attention.
Oh, yeah. It's a subject. People want to talk about it. Hey, what's that?
Exactly.
Where did you get that?
It's a good conversation piece.
Yes. Excellent. So how can people sign up for your classes?
On BronxNet's website, on the education tab. I'm not sure if the class has been listed yet. But I'm also going to be working on some new sets for the immersive studios in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
So I'll be making some 360 sets as well. So we got a lot of fun things coming up.
Yeah. Are you getting personal calls? Hey, can you make me something? Or like the hip hoppers or any artists?
I've been working with Rockefeller with Quick to Rock on NFTs with her. So she actually collaborated with me on those 350th year anniversary hip hop NFTs that I made. So part of the proceeds will go to her project funding as well as mine, which all go towards.
How do you market that? And that's just going to be sold in what places?
It's on OpenSea. And there's a QR code with the artwork. People can also messenger me or contact someone at BronxNet to get that website URL to download that NFT. And there's 50 of each minted. They're $50 each, which is a really good price for an NFT. I did it with, it's minted on Polygon, but you could pay for it with USD coin.
Yeah. So people that don't understand NFTs, how would they find out that they want one?
Well, you can contact me on Instagram, Trish Gia Art. And you can also go to BronxNet website and contact someone here at BronxNet. But there's also OpenSea is the main platform where I minted these NFTs for 50
so they
years
get a
of
chance.
hip-hop.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. I want to get that.
Yeah. Just type in, go to OpenSea.com, type in the search 50th year hip hop anniversary, and then my NFTs will show up on the list.
So we're raising money with NFTs.
Exactly.
How are we doing? We're raising for
Creatives Rebuild New York artists, and to help fund what BronxNet TV has done for us.
Well, let me lend you one of our cameras. You can use this one right here and just ask for what you want.
All right. So please visit OpenSea website, OpenSea.com, or you can visit my website, TrishGianakis.com, or on Instagram, Trish Gia Art. And you can send me a message to inquire for one of the NFTs that we're selling for 50 years of hip hop. Or if you want to look at my NFTs, I have Mother Earth that I created. I have my Alter Ego series as well, and many other physical pieces. And if you want to order this bag with the NFTs on the bag, I can also set that up for you. So Trish Gia Art on Instagram is probably the fastest way to reach me.
Thank you so much, Trish.
All right. Thank you.
Did we build a website yet? Or that's probably old now compared to what you're doing, right?
Right. That's why I always say Instagram is really the fastest way to reach. BronxNet has an Instagram page too, to be messengered at, but that's really the fastest way. But I do, of course, have my website, TrishGianakis.com.
TrishGianakis.com. CRNY Artist, BronxNet TV. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Bob.
We want to learn more.
Thank you
for
so
teaching
much.
us.
Thank you for having me.
Trish. Our last guest is a public servant leader with a long history in activism, advocacy, and service. Has received numerous awards and acknowledgement on NTS for a dedication to community building. She'll join us next. Stand by. And welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You are watching Open. Thank you so much. Our last guest is a public servant leader with a long history in activism, advocacy, and service who has received numerous awards and acknowledgments for her dedication to community building. It's all important in our community, you know that. She joins us to speak about her work in public service and education and shine a light on how she was awarded by the Greenhouse Boutique and Bullion Foundation. Please welcome to the show, Gervonn Rice. Gervonn, how are you? I think we're cousins, Gervonn.
I think so. We could possibly be related.
Yeah, we have some Rice in our family.
Very nice. Very nice. I know we'd be long lost cousins.
Yeah, we could be. All right. Listen, tell us about some of your work.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity to be with you on this lovely rainy Monday here. But we were just, a number of women were just honored with the Greenhouse and the foundation. And I really appreciate the opportunity, especially for women. I often share that women, when we serve, it's like, Ginger Rogers dancing backwards in heels and often not getting the acknowledgement of serving our community because we're also always multitasking. So being able to support a Black business in the community and having them honor the women in the community was really a great day and a great opportunity to meet the other women who were honorees who are all out here serving.
Yeah, I heard that those honorees were part of the D9 Deltas.
Yes.
AKA's Lambda chapter.
Yes.
And also Bergen County Mocha Moms.
Yes. And as women, when we serve, all bringing those acknowledgements of our organizations to the table, we of course know each other because we're a tight-knit circle of those of us who are out here on the front lines of service.
And some of the people that helped you get started in the journey that you're on now are?
So, in fact, I have, just this morning, I was able to honor Miss Theodora Lacey, who is a longtime civil activist in our community and educator. We actually have one of our school buildings named after her, Theodora Smiley Lacey School Building. And today, on September 18th, we acknowledge her each year because this is the date that we opened up her school a few years ago. So watching her be a mom as well as activists in our community, someone knew Martin Luther King personally, knew Rosa Parks personally, but yet was an educator and a mom and activist. These were some of my sheroes, being able to grow up within the community.
Looks like you're in a pre-K classroom setting.
Yes, I am. I
Ah.
work in a preschool, so I work with 3 and 4-year-olds, and it's really a great opportunity. My specific opportunity is to work with families and connecting them on this journey, which is going to be about 15 years for them of making sure that they are their child's first teacher and ensuring that they continue that journey up through at least through high school graduation. I say that 15 years. But of course, we know lifelong is really the pursuit of education.
Great, great, great. And you're out of Teaneck, New Jersey?
Yes, born and raised. Have spent my entire life in this diverse, beautiful little hamlet that was the first of voluntarily integrated schools over 50 some odd years ago, of which my hero, Miss Theo Lacey, was a part of that. And there you're showing another picture of one of my heroes. That was Sheila Oliver, a lieutenant governor who just recently passed away. Yes, that's Sheila Oliver. And Lahisha Way has just been recently named as her replacement. But women in service, being able to receive acknowledgments, we all know that that's not why we do it, but it's really an honor that people take note.
Look at some of the pictures here. Talk about
Yes. Yeah, so this is Miss Johnson, who is actually one of my parents. I have the lovely pleasure of working with her daughter in our preschool program. And her parents, as well as her grandmother, active members of our school community. So that's how I got to know some of the members of the foundation. So, they're like family. Once you start to become part of our school family, growing up, I live and work in the same community. So you continue to extend that family to continue to support each other.
Yeah. And you're into community building. That's important.
Yes.
I love that
Yes.
type of work. That's what I do myself.
Yes.
So we're partners in more ways than one.
Look at that. Yes.
Can we just go back to the pictures of everybody holding up their awards and give them a shout out and tell us who they are?
Yes. So we have starting over here from my right is one of the owners of the greenhouse, who was there during the presentation. And then Miss Sandra Carson, who's there, part of the foundation, who gave me this wonderful connection to speak with you this morning. Miss Connie Lay, who works here also in our preschool program. She is now working with our superintendent of schools. Myself, and another young woman who has a foundation in New York. Next to her, Stacy Wing, one of the AKAs. Actually, the next 3 women representing in green are AKAs. This woman in the print dress is Christine Mayers, who works in our high school. Like myself, lives and works in the community. So you're always continuing to doing that community building, always. And then to the far end, a young lady who's a mom of a daughter who was a heart recipient and is doing some fabulous work in the cannabis field and making sure legislation is such that represents the poor folks who are supposed to be getting the cream of the crop of this industry, African Americans, women, as well as disabled vets. So she's doing great work in that field.
And I saw Sandra DaCosta was in that picture there.
Yes, of course. The impetus of Sandra.
Yeah.
Yes. Great community person here, and grandmother too.
We love Sandra.
Yes, she's a fabulous person.
So
and
those were the honorees. Those were the
Yes.
awardees from the Greenhouse Boutique in Bouillon. And what is this right here?
This was the actual flyer that featured all of the women. Some were at least can be featured on this flyer who weren't at the actual event. But Sandra, as you mentioned, was the fabulous impetus for this and reached out to us. And so she knows, being an active member of the community herself, was able to make sure she was able to select and choose women who were great activists.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the families came out. So here, one of my fellow honorees was there with her family.
Great. Any other events coming up that we should know about?
Actually, a new upcoming event is the NAACP in my community in Bergen County has their Freedom Fund coming up in November. I will actually be
Oh
receiving
yeah.
an award at that event for the NAACP Freedom Fund. Longtime member of the NAACP, and again, always doing great work in our community, our local branch, the Bergen County branch.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me about that because they wanted to come to the one that we were at in the Bronx on Saturday at Marina Del Rey. I belong to the
Nice.
Mid-Manhattan branch myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I was one of their honorees there. And
Very nice.
yeah, we had a great time. So I think they wanted me to come to this one too. What's the date on this one coming up in
I
New
was just
Jersey?
trying to check to see if I could get a date. I want to say maybe it's one of the first or second Saturdays in November.
Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it. You don't have to get it. But thank you so much for joining us. And where can we go for more information on you and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, so my email is there. I'm on social media. I'm usually posting about what's happening in the community, various events. Upcoming, of course, is election season, so we always make sure that our community members are aware of voting, how important their vote and voice are, and by voting, that is your voice. It's just a matter of making sure that you acknowledge the ancestors and people that came before us to fight for the right to vote. So I'm a big advocate of making sure our high school students are registered and making sure that as kids go off to college, that they make sure that they vote by mail, vote early. So those are some of the things that we advocate for, always voting. We're also getting ready to have a forum coming up on the 28th with our Assemblywoman Shavonda Sumner, who is one of our Assemblywomen in the 35th District. She's going to be just speaking about healthcare, education, the issues that are important to us, and how we can transition just an issue and concern into moving into legislative pieces, and how we can get a legislative attention to the things that matter in us.
Well, thank you for all that you do, and continue to rev and create the awareness that we need to rev or become revs. Register people, help them to educate people, and vote. Rev.
Yes.
Register, educate, and vote.
Love that. Very important.
Gervonn Rice, thank you so much. Mother of the Community Award Ceremony. Thank you. You're an honoree, and you deserve everything that you get. We love you. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the opportunity that we have for today's show. But wait, we've got more next week. But I want to thank our guests for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in. Keep following BronxNet TV for continued coverage. I want to thank for letting us share in this space and time with you. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Coming up next, Kibben Arlene, Darren Jaime, and Rena Valentine for the new episodes of Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you tune in and check it all out. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser of the Dr. Bob Lee. And I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. I love you all. Peace.